Summer's here, and Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From beach days and weddings to weekend getaways and your everyday wardrobe. Discover stylish options under $100 from tons of your favorite brands like Mango, Skims, Princess Polly, and Madewell. It's easy too with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Shop today in stores, online at Nordstrom.com, or download the Nordstrom app.
We are
Cultivate.
We are Cultivate.
Hello and welcome to Ye Olde Crime, where we discuss the funny, strange, and obscure crimes of yesteryear. I'm your host, Lindsay Valenti, and with me is my sister and co-host, Maddie Stengel.
Hello.
Hello. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy June 1st.
It is June 1st. And fun fact, Tuesday, so the day before this comes out, is our podiversary.
Oh my god. How many years?
5.
Of course, it's significant.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Hanging out? Okay, cool.
I don't know. But just know that Tuesday is our podcast anniversary. And I'll try to do something on social media. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I remember.
Cheers to 5 years, friend.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening so many years later.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. 5 years. That makes sense because it's been 5 years since I met my husband.
Are you okay to say that now?
I mean, yeah.
All right. I don't have anything in the corrections cubby, but because it is the first episode of the month, we're going to open the kudos closet. Who doesn't love coming out of the kudos closet? Which is
kudos closet.
Apropos because it is also Pride Month. So that's the second thing coming out of the closet. First thing is we need to thank our Buy Me a Coffee sustainers. So thank you, as always, and once again, to Charlie, Elizabeth, Sarah, Cheryl, and Mariam. Thank you for supporting the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. Y'all are the best.
Every little bit is appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Pride Month, so keep your eyes peeled on Dashery and TeePublic. I will be putting all the Pride merch back up so that
nice.
You can buy our Pride swag.
Hell yeah.
'Cause swag. We're doing something a little different this week, which I'm kind of excited about.
All right.
We're going to be discussing Himeji Castle.
Never heard of it. Mysterious.
Well, you will now.
Mm-hmm.
Information was pulled from the following sources. A 2024 Vocal Media Horror article by Kyrol Mojikal, 2023 Moon Mausoleum blog post, 2022 Gaijin Pot blog post by Joshua Mayer, 2020 Ancient Origins article by DHWTY, 2019 Japan Experience article by OF, 2019 Remote Islands article by Ronan O'Connell, Britannica, Himeji Castle website, Japan Guide listing, Japan Travel listing, UNESCO article, Wikipedia, and a yokai article.
I like how varied all of those sources are.
Yes.
It's really nice. Like it's just very well-rounded, I think.
It's all over the board.
I like it.
Thank you to Carrie Ann for her research assistance on this episode, and links to all of these articles will be included in the show notes. We wouldn't be here without support from listeners like you. If you're interested in supporting us financially, you can leave a one-time or monthly donation over on Buy Me a Coffee or our Venmo page. Links are in the show notes. And we make a point of reaching out to send you a thank you note and stickers to show our appreciation.
Want to show your support in a more concrete way? Pick up some Yield Crime merch over at our TeePublic shop. We shout out whenever there is a sale each month, and we work to make sure we're creating new designs and changing it up whenever possible. And hey, thanks for listening.
Built on Mount Himeyama, along the western approach to the former capital of Kyoto, Himeji Castle is also known as White Heron Castle due to its distinctive white appearance.
Interesting. A white, like a totally white castle?
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. It is one of Japan's 12 original castles and arguably the largest in the country.
Ah, so not only the most unique, but the biggest too.
Mm-hmm. It's
Nice.
a big one.
It's a big one.
First established in 1333 by Akamatsu Norimura as a fort, it was enlarged over the ensuing centuries by the various clans that ruled the region. Shogun Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who would go on to be known as one of the three great unifiers of Japan, added
Nice.
a turreted 3-storied castle to the property in 1577 when he took control of the area.
Nice. He was like, listen, it needs something more. I'm thinking vertical. Let's add a pretty little tower. You know.
It needs more gravitas.
It does. It needs a little more character, a little more life.
Teru Masai Ikeda, who received the fortification in 1601 from his father-in-law following their victory at the Battle of Sekigahara the year before, erected the famous keep and 5-storied central tower that you can see today, with construction completing in 1609.
Okay.
So what we know as Himeji Castle today was constructed during Teru Masai's ownership of the castle. The complex comprises 83 buildings across the numerous baileys surrounding the castle, all of which are connected by winding paths and a series of gates. These include the donjon complex, ramparts, and samurai houses, which would go on to be replaced by military buildings in the 20th century.
Okay. So kind of continued mostly as like a defense kind of fort-esque. Okay.
Unlike many other castles found throughout Japan, Himeji Castle was never destroyed by man-made or natural disasters, such as fire, earthquakes, and war.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. What?
Yeah.
What?
The walls were crafted using the, quote, sporadic stone development, end quote, method, which involves stones fitting together without mortar, making the exterior incredibly strong.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they just stopped doing it after that? They're like, this is really cool, but it was really hard, so this is it for us. We're just not going to make any more like this. Like, that's crazy. If it was that remarkable, like,
mm-hmm.
keep going.
So that's like the exterior walls were made that way.
Mm-hmm.
But the interior is made out of like really thick timber.
Okay.
Himeji survived the bombing of Himeji in World War II and the Great Hanshin earthquake of 1995.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What a cool structure.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact, Himeji is so well preserved because its walls, which were primarily made of wood, were covered and reinforced with white, fireproof lime-based plaster.
Ah, okay. I was wondering, like, it had to be dipped in something, probably.
Yep.
What we couldn't and can't do now.
Yeah. Well, we can. Kinda.
To an extent.
What we would do today isn't the same methods they would have used back then.
Yep.
It is also for this reason that it has been compared to a heron taking flight due to its visually striking white appearance.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. The Buddhist temple Shomyogi is home to the earliest surviving reference to a fortress located in Himeji, dating back to 1561. The Kuroda samurai clan controlled Himeji during the 16th century civil wars, and its leader, Kuroda Kanbei, served as a lieutenant to warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Shogun Hideyoshi utilized Himeji as his base of operations while he worked to strengthen his hold over western Honshu. When he moved to Osaka Castle, he appointed his half-brother Hidenaga and brother-in-law Kinoshita Iseda as leaders of Himeji. Hideyoshi's death in 1598 gave way to renewed conflict, and the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 paved the way for his successors as they fought to control Japan. Tokugawa Ieyasu would emerge victorious and restructure the castle to make it a fortress prepared for war.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you have a major death like that and there's no, like, ironclad established heir.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Yeah.
for the shogunate, like in Europe, you could have a child become the heir, but there'd be someone like working behind the scenes until they came of age.
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually like their mom or like
Yeah.
the hand of the king or somebody like that.
They didn't do that in Shogun Japan. So it had to be an adult heir.
Yep.
And if it wasn't, then it was up for grabs.
That makes more sense to me, than being like, oh, hey, that baby that was born like 10 minutes ago, that's the new king. Everybody's like, what? Absolutely not. No, I'm going to kill that baby and then I will be king. Like, what are you talking about?
What baby? Yeet!
Exactly. So that makes way more sense to me if I was, a power-hungry dictator or warlord of some sort, or just, wanted to lead a bunch of people. But yeah, apologies in advance. I'm gonna keep like muting and unmuting to help the puppy sounds because I got all 3 today. So I apologize, listeners, if any of it comes through.
It's fine.
There's lots of snorting happening.
One can wind their way to the main keep of the castle through a labyrinth of numerous gates and baileys, which were designed for the express purpose of slowing down enemy forces should they breach the walls. It's been theorized that the gates, baileys, and outer walls were designed to disorient and confuse attackers, causing them to become disoriented as they tried to find their way to the keep.
That sounds super cool. Like, terrifying, right? If you weren't expecting it and you were just thinking you could sneak in and like do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, like some of them would go to like dead ends.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they wouldn't even go anywhere. And due to the design's nature, they would also be highly exposed from above. So if you were in there and you weren't supposed to be, you were an easy target.
Yep. Well, that tower that one guy made, he had no idea it was going to be so useful.
And fun fact, even with all these improvements and safeguards, they were never combat tested, as the castle was never assaulted during the 3 centuries it operated as a feudal domain.
That's crazy. People was like they were too scared, or it was too pretty, or they had too much respect. Like, that's crazy. 3 centuries without incident. Like, this must be magical ground. Like, I just can't fathom. This is just such a cool castle. I really want to go to this. This is crazy.
Honda Tadamasa, created the West Bailey, and the walls were designed to be extra thick to withstand attacks using firearms, which had been introduced to Japan in the 16th century.
Mm-hmm.
And at the heart of the maze stands the 6-story, 32-meter-high wooden main keep, one of only a few designed to mimic wings, thereby adding to its unique appearance.
Cool. So they really kind of leaned into the Heron
Mm-hmm.
aesthetic. That's so cool.
Yeah, so like each of the stories, which like narrow as they get higher to the top, like they're kind of like the roofs kind of wing out.
Cool.
Yeah. Fun fact, there is a kitchen in the inner court, and it was designed this way in case the castle were to fall under siege, or if foreign enemies attempted to starve out the castle's occupants, that they would have a place to eat.
Nice.
And prepare food.
That's awesome.
They thought of all the things.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go.
The city of Himeji is situated on the main island of southwestern Hyogo Prefecture on the western coast of Honshu. The castle property spans an area of 107 hectares, or 264 acres, and was a feudal domain for nearly 3 centuries before 1868, when the last shogun in possession of the property passed away.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. The original fortifications extended well beyond the main castle, encompassing neighborhoods protected by earthen embankments and moats. And where you lived within these neighborhoods was often a reflection of your social standing. So if you were a high-ranking samurai, for example, you would live closer to the center of the compound.
That makes sense. Like kind of safeguarding the most
Yes.
precious at the center. And then, I mean, that's how most cities are kind of set up, isn't it? Like
Mm-hmm.
normally, like your city capitals are at the very center.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else kind of fans out from there.
Yep. Merchants and craftsmen usually lived just beyond the location of the middle moat.
Mm-hmm.
New areas would be built as people moved to the bustling city. Different sections of the town would take on names that reflected the occupants of the people who lived there, like Saimoku-machi, which was the lumber town, and Takajo-machi, which was the falconer town.
Nice. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
The falconer town.
Yeah.
So cool.
Mm-hmm. Himeji's gallery is around 240 meters long, and the West Bailey became home to the living quarters of Honda Tadatoki and Princess Sen in the early 17th century. The northern section and the connected towers were used for the princess's ladies-in-waiting and the female servants. And at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, so it's a cool castle. Why are we talking about it? And I'm here to tell you what we're going to discuss next is why we are talking about it. It is haunted.
Yeah, well, I figured that. I mean, especially like being dipped in lime and stuff and like surviving so many natural disasters and like horrific man-made events.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Japan is also generally surrounded by water, so there's that too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
It's got lots of like haunted, what is it, like stepping stones, haunting like check boxes.
Oh yeah, all the boxes.
It checks all the boxes for what you need in order to potentially be haunted.
It meets all the prerequisites to be a haunted
Yes.
location.
Yes, thank you. I was like, why can't I think of the word?
Yep. Stories of the various hauntings at Himeji are most prominent during the summer months, particularly during the Obon holiday, when the people of Japan celebrate the spirits of the dead. So this is when people like believe the line is kind of thinnest between our world and...
Similar to like Halloween and
Yes.
Samhain, that kind of thing.
Yep.
All Hallows Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So the first spirit is called Okiku, which translates to a female name meaning chrysanthemum.
Pretty. Let me guess. She's horrific. Chrysanthemum.
It depends on who you ask.
Demon lady. Okay.
Depends on who you ask.
Got it.
Her folklore is that she was falsely accused of a crime and as a result was executed.
Oh.
And to add insult to injury, her body was dumped into the well of the castle instead of being cremated or buried.
Oh, that's so awful. So she didn't even get like a proper burial.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chrysanthemum.
Ever since her execution, she's made her displeasure known by haunting the castle, wandering the various halls, and wailing.
Yeah, I would too. I'd be like, listen up, bitches.
Yep.
Like, you think you could just toss me aside? Fun fact, you can't. I'm gonna scream until your ears bleed for the rest of your life. It's not gonna hurt her.
Fun fact, Okiku's story inspired the Japanese horror story Ringu, aka The Ring.
Nice.
You can still see the very well, which is aptly named Okiku's Well, to this day on the self-guided tour.
No thanks. But like,
It
cool.
is in like a cage. It is perfectly
Still, nope.
encapsulated.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't even want to see a photo of it. That's fine. Like, the knowledge is perfectly, I can, in my mind's eye, I can picture it, and that's right where it needs to stay.
Yep.
Nope, no hunting here, thanks.
The earliest mention of the legend of Okiku in modern times was during a Bonraku puppet play titled Bonshu Sarayashiki that was produced in 1741 by Tamanaga Tarobe and Asado Icho. In this tale, Okiku was a court lady who found herself unwittingly caught in a plot to eliminate the lord of Himeji Castle. Yeah.
That's a bad day. That's a
Mhm.
bad day. That's a day where
Yeah.
you're like, and I'm dead.
Mhm.
Oh no.
In this puppet play telling, as the lord lay sick and dying, his evil chief retainer, a man named Tetsuzan, hatched a plan to deal with the lord's heir and blame it on Okiku. So Tetsuzan attempts to seduce Okiku so he can blackmail her for the theft of a treasured dish plate that was part of a set of 10 that would be presented as a succession gift to the next ruler. So there's supposed to be 10. One plate is mysteriously
Broken, gone, whatever. And he's
Yep.
like, unacceptable. Let's make this girl die for it.
Yep, she did it.
Cool.
When that plan falls through, he ups it a notch by suspending Okiku over a well, the well, where he proceeds to torture her.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
And then that's her final resting place. Amazing.
Well, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So Tetsuzan lowers and raises her from the well repeatedly, hitting her with his bakken, which is that wooden sword that you see used in kendo as well as other forms of martial arts. Regardless, Okiku refuses to give in, so he knocks her down into the well. Shortly after this, he hears the sound of a voice counting plates, and he watches as her spirit ascends from the well in the form of an onro, or a vengeful spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning.
Yep. Mm-hmm. How's it going?
How's it going, sir? I'm about to ruin your life.
Yep.
Because you ruined mine.
The story of Okiku continues to be told in the form of kabuki, under the name The Dish Mansion in Harima Province. Her tale, along with that of Oiwa and Otsuyu, is one of the big 3 ghost stories. So it's one of the most famous in Japan.
Nice.
In other legends, Okiku is a dishwashing servant at the castle, and due to her beauty, she caught the attention of a samurai named Aoyama, who we will come back to later. He gets mentioned later. And just as with the tale about Tetsuzan, he attempts to make her his mistress, and when she refuses, he threatens to tell his master that she lost one of his 10 precious plates. I don't know what happens to this plate. I don't know if he just hides it. I don't know what happens to the plate. Regardless,
I bet you somebody like broke it and it was him.
Probably. Again, she refuses. He enlists his servants to beat her with wooden swords, has her tied up and repeatedly dunked into the well, only so that he can hit her with a wooden sword himself.
Great.
And when she continues to refuse to become his mistress,
I wonder why.
it's then that he strikes her a final time and drops her body into the depths of the well, as with the
Forever.
first, causing her to return as a vengeful spirit. Another famous phantom is the woman dressed in white, because every castle needs a woman dressed in white.
At least one.
At least one.
White or red.
Yep. Sometimes green, as we've discovered.
Yes, sometimes green. Yeah.
But usually white.
Yeah. White's usually, it's the majority.
Yep. According to the legend, this beautiful woman appears during the full moon wearing an exquisite white kimono.
Ooh.
It's believed that she is the soul of a woman who was violated by the person she loved, so she chose to end her life on the palace grounds.
That's so sad.
People who have seen her, staff and guests alike, share a feeling of pity or unease at the sight of her.
That's so awful. That like
know.
her spirit just like exudes that feeling.
And fun fact, many tie the woman dressed in white to the story of Okiku, believing they may be the same. There is no real way to tell if they are or not. Another mystical tale associated with Himeji is the legend of Osaka Bay Hime, also known as the Castle Monster. Osaka Bay Hime is part of Japanese folklore, a yokai, or what Westerners would term like a cryptid or ghost. So
Got it.
something paranormal.
Okay. Got it.
She lives in the tower of Himeji Castle and shows up once a year to share the fate of the castle with its current ruler. That's her role.
Okay.
Osaka Bay Hime hates people and hides in the dark corners of the castle.
I love that for her.
Yeah. She has been described as an old kitsune, or a fox spirit. She has also been noted as potentially the illegitimate daughter of Princess Inoue, the empress consort of Emperor Conan, who was deposed in 1772. So she was cast out in 1772, not the emperor.
Got it.
She was cast out after she was accused of committing acts of witchcraft, and she passed away just 3 years later at the age of 58.
Wasn't she known to be a fox spirit?
Her illegitimate daughter is believed to be the fox spirit.
Got it. Okay. Because I was like, if they already believed that, they were mad that she was doing witchcraft. Like,
So the story
what?
is like, because she was a witch, her daughter
that's what happened to her daughter. It like
Yeah.
ruined her daughter somehow.
Yeah, and she became this trickster spirit, or kitsune.
Rude.
For context, Emperor Conan reigned as the 49th emperor of Japan, and his reign lasted from 1770 to 1781. So he didn't last much longer than his consort.
Jeez.
It is also theorized that Osaka Bay Hime is the spirit of past courtesans of Emperor Fushimi, who reigned as the 92nd emperor of Japan from 1287 to 1298.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to the courtesans, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Initially, the Osaka Bay Hime was gender neutral and didn't have a gender assigned to it until 1677, when it was given the name the Castle Monster. So up until that point, it didn't really have
any sort of
like gender norms associated with it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Osaka Bay Hime is often depicted as a woman in her 30s, dressed in a ceremonial 12-layered kimono known as a Juni Tihoe, which was first introduced during the Heian period. Her powers include the ability to read human minds and control animals, as well as the ability to assume any of the various forms she is said to be capable of taking.
That's a lot. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly impressive, if true.
Mm-hmm. As with Okiku, a kabuki play based on her story is one of the Shin-Kabuki Juhashiban, a set of the 18 best kabuki plays in Japan's history.
Wow.
So hell yeah, Osaka
Hell
Behime.
yeah. Absolutely. Wow.
Another spirit is that of a crying child, which, no.
Yeah, that would be, I would hate that. I
Mm-hmm.
would much rather see like a woman in a white dress or a red dress, or like
Mm-hmm.
hear a lady upset versus like a
Yeah.
crying, like a sad or scared child I can't find.
Yeah.
No thanks.
The spirit of the crying child can be heard throughout the passageways of the palace, particularly in the evenings. Many believe they are the cries of a child who had either been playing in the palace or who had perhaps gotten separated from their mother. Reports of the crying child persist to this day. So this wasn't like
I
something that
hate
happened.
that. I hate
Yeah.
that it still happens. That's
Mm-hmm.
so awful. And you
Yeah.
know it's probably a demon, or like a not so nice spirit, because it's always a demon. It's never actually a child,
Mm-hmm.
because children don't have to stick around.
One spirit that I mentioned earlier is that of Aoyama, the samurai, who held a position of power in Himeji during the Edo period. Aoyama was a feared ruler known for his savagery, and today his ghost is said to haunt the palace, causing those who encounter it to feel a sense of fear and unease, especially near his former living quarters.
Yeah, no thanks.
Some have even claimed to have seen a figure matching his description wandering around the lobbies, a look of disdain upon his face.
I'm sure. I'm sure if he is aware of our presence, he's pissed.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of people in his house.
and this is the ruler who is associated with the Okichi
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yep. Not nice.
Yeah. As with other hauntings, the usual paranormal activities have also been felt at Himeji. Staff and visitors alike have experienced sudden cold spots, seen items moving on their own, and encountered shadowy figures that disappear as quickly as they appear.
Mm-mm. No, thank you.
Ghost hunters who have visited the castle have captured the sound of unexplained voices, unusual circles of light, shadowy figures, and felt the sensation of being watched.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Since the start of the Japanese modern period, the national government has worked closely with local governments to ensure the preservation of Himeji Castle. In 1871, following the abolishment of feudal society and the end of the Edo period, the castle was sold at public auction. And in 1873, it became home to the Imperial Army's 10th Regiment.
Got it.
Fun fact, following the bombing of World War II, the town grew to become one of the prefecture's most significant centers of industry, manufacturing a wide range of products, including steel, textiles, leather goods, and iron.
Nice. Good for them.
Post-World War II, exterior military facilities were replaced by public buildings, but outside of that, the castle has remained true to its original form from the early 1600s.
Oh.
Today, Himeji Castle serves as both a national treasure and was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1993. It was reconstructed in 1964, and another major $23 million restoration took place between 2009 and 2015. Roof tiles were created in the traditions of the Edo period and crafted from Kawara ceramic by local artisans.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Wow. Good for them for like figuring out how to do that.
So the significance of these tiles is pivotal to Himeji Castle, and I had to include this because it's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing. Wow.
So they are believed to possess mystical powers, as they are decorated with onigawara, which are specifically shaped tiles designed to resemble an ogre. The menacing creatures, which sit at the ends of the ridges on some roofs, are believed to repel evil spirits, as well as protect their occupants and the buildings themselves. These tiles come in several designs, including ones featuring the crests of the different clans that once ruled the castle, as well as images of peaches, mallets, waves, ginkgo leaves, and a cross.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they're all different.
Mm-hmm. Other tiles, known as shachi, are believed to safeguard against fire, as they are mythical fish-like creatures who possess the head of a tiger and the body of a fish. The tiles are arranged so that the males face the north and east sides of the roof, and the females face the south and west sides.
Interesting.
11 shachi are located on the main keep, and 2 large figures can be seen on the peak of the top roof. The only modern addition to the property was the insertion of a reinforced concrete foundation raft. This addition was justified, given that if the subsoil continues to weaken, it could lead to a catastrophic collapse of the structure, which is already located in an area of high seismic activity.
Mm-hmm.
Many who visit today enter the grounds via the Ataman Gate into the Sanomaru, or Third Bailey. The Sanomaru boasts a large cherry tree-lined lawn, making it a popular destination in the spring during cherry blossom season, which is usually late April.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say like March to May,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Visitors are allowed to enter the main keep via the lower floor of the building, where they can then proceed to the top using a series of narrow, steep staircases. Each of the levels gets smaller as they wind their way to the 5th floor. Many of the floors today are unfurnished, but signs throughout highlight areas of significance such as rock chutes, portholes, and concealed spaces that could have been used during sieges.
Cool.
The top floor is home to a small shrine, offering a 360-degree view of the maze that protects not only the keep, but also the city of Himeji. A popular tourist spot on the property is Kokoin, a classical Japanese garden that opened in 1992 in the southwest section of the complex. It consists of 9 unique gardens that were designed to emulate the architectural styles of the Edo period, with landscaping that remains true to the era.
Nice.
And if you're at all interested in visiting the castle, many of the links in the show notes have information about when to go, how much it costs, what areas are free, which areas you pay for, nearby lodgings, stations that you get off at to get there, all that stuff. So
amazing. Oh, I know it.
And that's the history and the paranormal aspects of Himeji Castle.
I love it.
We love to hear from you, and there's a couple of ways you can reach out to us. You can email us at yeoldecrimepodcast@gmail.com, where you can send us story ideas, share any spooky stories you may have, fun gifts, or even just to say hello.
You can also reach out to us via snail mail. Remember mail? Our mailing address is Ye Olde Crime Podcast, P.O. Box 341, Wyoming, Minnesota 55092. Fun fact, we like to send out thank you cards with fun stickers you can't get at our shop, so it's worth the cost of a stamp.
Wee woo, pull over.
This is Officer Austin.
And I'm Deputy Donovan.
From the Last Two Brain Cells podcast. All right, listen, we're not cops.
But we are two best buds who can't wait to expose you to a whole lot of things that you've never heard of.
Things you really don't need to hear.
Things that you didn't know that you didn't want to know.
Each episode will cover a few hand-picked experimental segments.
They might be scary stories,
tragic, terrible historical events,
or avant-garde soundscapes.
But mostly it's just guys being silly and stupid. At the end of the day, we're here to put some pep in your step with some out-of-the-box thinking to keep you learning, laughing, and giggling along with us while you're on your daily commute.
Or in the shower.
Or as you make sweet, passionate love to your life partner.
Or as you make sweaty, dirt nasty love to your life partner.
Wow. Or at the office and with headphones.
You can listen on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Nice. Now, hope to see you soon, and let's get back to your main podcast. Take it away, my friends.
And this week's podcast plug is the Last Two Brain Cells podcast. Austin and Donovan host a variety segment comedy podcast called The Last Two Brain Cells. If you enjoy laughing, learning, and breathing, come check it out. You might just have a great time. and we
Nice.
will have a link to their show in the show notes. If you love the show, the best way to support us is to leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Good Pods, CastBox, Podcast Addict, and or Audible. Links to all of these are in our show notes, or if you're already listening on one of these platforms, you know what to do.
Oh, and while you're at it, shoot us a question you'd like to hear us answer on the pod. We'll give you a special shout out and address your burning questions all at the same time. The weirder, the better. Submit them via link in our show notes or shoot them to us in our DMs.
And Carrie Ann would like to know, if you were trapped on an island, would you rather resort to cannibalism or die of starvation?
Starvation. Yep.
Yeah, I
Done.
don't know if I could eat a person.
Mm-mm. No. I can barely eat meat as it is. Like truly, genuinely. I struggle through it. So the odds of me well, honestly, just surviving to the point where I would outlive somebody else.
Yeah, in order to eat them, yeah.
As horrific as that is, no, like, chronically ill and zero life skills when it comes to survival.
Fair.
Yeah, I can look real cute and sad for the right person to help me out. That's about it.
If you have questions, they don't have to be about cannibalism, but if you have other questions you want to ask us, I think
Send them in.
Maddie would prefer they weren't about cannibalism, but send them in.
They can be. It just, my answer.
Yep. No.
Nope.
And on that note, what's something good you'd like to share?
Oh, we have some new vegetables that we're going to try to keep up with this summer. We have a lot of critters in our backyard. We've got at least 2 bunny nests on either side. We've seen deer. We know that there's some sort of mole, whatever, terrorizing the entire neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
But we got the porch ones, so they're in the giant potted plants, so I'll just take them out and bring them in every night.
Mm-hmm.
But we got strawberries and peppers and tomatoes and stuff, and I'm really excited because
Nice.
I love some garden fresh tomatoes, man. It's so good. What about you? What's something good?
I saved a turtle yesterday.
Hell yeah. Tell us all about it. Okay, hold on. There's this piece of property that's really close to us, and it includes the creek where a family of turtles lives. And when I tell you, we were really into it because of the turtles, the opportunity to have a turtle habitat more so than, the other I think it's 5 acres of land or something crazy. But we were so the Turtle Lake though, right? The turtles are included in that. And they were yeah. I was that's interesting. That's very interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Cool.
Thanks for that. Thanks. So the turtles, if they stay there, we can name them, right?
And there's more than 4 of them? Cool. Yeah.
And there's more, and they come there, and we can make sweaters. It's fine. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So tell me all about this.
So
this turtle rescue.
I had to go and pick up patches that the girls who sold cookies earned because the rewards came in. I was a super bad cookie mom, and I didn't pick their little knick-knack bullshit for them, so they got cookie credits. So they got little credit cards that they can use at the Girl Scout store to buy things instead of getting the cheap bullshit. But they also got patches, so I went to pick those up. Nice. And as we were driving away, I almost hit the turtle, and then I didn't hit it. So then I stopped the car, and I made sure to pick it up out of the road and put it safely on the side of the road in the direction in which it was going, so no one else would hit it, which is good because there was a truck behind me and they would have hit it. So
Yep.
my
You're
youngest and
absolutely
I made a point of running out there quick, and she was like furiously waving her hands
right.
so that I could pick up the turtle and move it. So the turtle was saved.
Was it a snapping turtle or was it like a regular one?
It was a painted turtle, a regular painted turtle.
Nice. I still really love those turtles by mom and dad's house that have like the radioactive algae.
Yeah.
They're like midnight dark. They're like really, really dark,
Mm-hmm.
like black. And then they have the radioactive algae like speckled on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dad had to tell me to keep walking that one morning. He's like, "You can't take it." I just
I love
stared at
turtles.
it. I stared at it, just like sitting in that person's lawn for like a minute. It's like, but it's so cool. Like, can I touch the algae?
I will run into the street and a reasonable distance into people's yards to pick up a turtle, just so I can see what the bottom of it looks like, because they're all different and they're all beautiful.
No.
And I'm that person. I am the turtle
Yeah.
person, and I do not apologize for that.
There you go.
All right, on that note, shall we?
Let's do it.
Want to be social with us? You can see pics from this week's episode, bonus content, and funny memes on X at Ye Olde Crime Pod, or on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube at Ye Olde Crime Podcast.
Speaking of YouTube, we have a special playlist just for our Can You Crack the Cramp Word segments with our guest podcasters to see who can correctly guess the meaning of some obscure Victorian slang terms. If that's your thing, check it out.
And on that note, as always, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Madison.
And we'll see you next time with another tale
As old as crime.